Welcome everyone to Gamer Melt. Today I've got some really big stuff, starting with Intel's 7nm desktop codename. The B460 could get overclocking, 3rd gen Ryzen 3 versus Intel's 10th gen i3, and Ryzen 5000 was spotted with Navi 23. But first, if you aren't already, make sure to follow me on Twitter at GamerMeld and join the Discord server for news and channel updates. Okay, it's news time, and first up I'll say, it may seem like Intel's 10nm for desktop is a century away, that 14nm is here to stay, and don't forget to pick up your 14nm++++ squared shirt today. Anyway, okay, I'll stop at the rhyming thing, but basically, Intel has been on 14nm for what seems like forever. Luckily, they're at least planning to move past it eventually, as a new codename has reportedly been showing up in driver files and technical documents. It's called Meteor Lake, and according to Tech Power Up, it's Intel's 7nm processors that follow Alder Lake, so we're talking potentially desktop chips. Of course, we may not see them until 2050, but at least Intel's working on them, right? Right? Next up for today, Intel could be making a huge change. For those who didn't know, up until now, Intel has only ever allowed overclocking on their high-end Z series of motherboards, unlike AMD who has it on their mid-tier B series as well as their X chipsets. Well, all that may change as video cards recently leaked Maxon's upcoming B460 marketing material, and in it you can see there's a few buttons, with one having a lightning bolt. Well, according to Tom's Hardware, the description mentions speeding up your processor. It may just be utilizing the regular boost clock, but this could mean Intel has finally enabled overclocking on their mid-tier boards. Then again, with 10th gen already having major power issues, it could just be marketing fluff. Next up, while we recently saw some of our first leaked benchmarks on AMD's Ryzen 3 processors, it looks like we finally have some benchmarks on Intel's upcoming 10th gen i3s, along with more Ryzen 3 benchmarks. And you know what? Competition is looking good. For starters, just as AMD added hyperthreading to their Ryzen 3 lineup, so has Intel. Not only that, but unlike before where Geekbench was the benchmarking tool, this time it's Cinebench. Either way, the scores were found on CPU Monkey, and as you can see, this compares Intel's upcoming i3 10100 and 10300, which are Intel's low and mid-tier i3s. We also have both Cinebench R15 and R20. Anyway, when we look at the scores, you can see that both Intel parts beat the Ryzen 3 3100 across the board, though not by much. On the other hand, AMD's 3300X beats both of Intel's parts at single and multi-core performance, though once again, not by much. Basically, at the end of the day, it'll likely boil down to price. If Intel keeps things the same from 9th gen, it'll mean their 10100 has an MSRP of $122, but given the 3300X is just $120 and beats both the 10100 and 10300, AMD would clearly be the way to go. Then again, the 9100F is less than $100, but then Ryzen can overclock. Basically, the competition in the entry-level CPU market is better than ever. Lastly for today, while AMD's Ryzen 4000 APUs have only just begun making their way to laptops, it looks like we're already getting leaks on the company's next-gen Ryzen 5000 parts. Now, remember that AMD's APUs are an architectural generation behind their desktop counterparts, at least when it comes in the naming scheme. Ryzen 4000 APUs utilize Zen 2, which is the same architecture that's in Ryzen 3000 desktop parts. Ryzen 5000 will utilize AMD's Zen 3, which is what desktop 4th gen Ryzen will use. And while Ryzen 5000 likely won't be released until early next year, AMD's Zen 3 based desktop chips are expected later on this year, so it makes perfect sense that we'd see these so soon. Anyway, the leak originally came from a member on Anatech's forum, which has since been taken down, but the information was then posted by RO Game. Basically, it was a document from Dell that discusses a future Ryzen-powered laptop, and it gives us a few new details. For one, the APU is codenamed Zane, which has been discussed before, but details were fuzzy. According to the documents from Dell, it's FP6 compatible, which is the socket AMD's Ryzen 4000 mobile APUs currently use. It's also Zen 3 based, so essentially guaranteed to be Ryzen 5000. The laptop includes a Zane H CPU as well as Navi 23 mobile. Remember that Navi 23 is expected to be a higher-end RDNA 2 based GPU. Not only that, but RO Game is claiming a significant performance increase over Renoir, which is AMD's Ryzen 4000 APUs. Whether he's getting that from other leagues is tough to say, but let's just say that I'm really excited for Zen 3. Oh, and if you didn't notice, this proves that AMD is wanting to compete with both Intel and Nvidia in the high-end mobile market. Basically, AMD is going after everything. So while that does it for today, are you ready for 4th Gen Ryzen, or are you more interested in overclocking a mid-tier Intel board? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you liked the video, please subscribe. And as always, have a great day.